it's been a long time. It's been 2.5 years since I've posted a video like this on YouTube, which is absolutely wild to me. So it feels weird making this video. I'm not like some massive influencer or anything, but it also feels weird just like jumping back onto YouTube without saying something. So I'm saying something. So if you're like, where has this girl been and why is she popping back up? That's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I don't know where this video is going to go or how much, I don't know. We'll just see what happens. So I did YouTube for a couple of years along with having a blog and an Instagram and all of that stuff that people like this do. 3 years ago in the summer of 2017, my husband and I moved to Denver. It was really exciting. It was totally our choice, and we still live here. And it was not, it wasn't like because of his job we were forced to come here or anything like that. It was really good. But I had never moved out of Texas before. It was really stressful for me. I had a really hard time adjusting. Probably a solid 6 months where I was just like super sad every day. Like it was not great for me. And during that time, I tried to keep making content, and I did make content through kind of the fall of 2017, I think was when things really started to taper off, like up through November, and then Christmas and stuff happened. And so like I took a little break and then just kind of never got back at it. Honestly, like I was really depressed. I didn't have any friends besides my friends back in Texas and just like, random people online, but I didn't have anyone here in Denver that I was connecting with. I tried to go to like some blogger meetups and stuff, and I met some really nice people, but I still didn't feel connected. I just felt like maybe this world isn't for me anymore. It just didn't feel right, and it just wasn't feeling good anymore, which is really a bummer because for a long time that was a big part of my identity. At the same time, without going into too many details, I was dealing with a lot of personal stuff too, both with my husband's employment, and I just was feeling really stuck in my own job. I don't want to call it a dead-end job, but it was just not where I wanted to be, and it wasn't the field that I wanted to be in, and there was like really no room for upward growth. So I just felt really stuck, and that caused me to really slip into the worst anxiety I've ever had. I've never felt like that. I guess it was anxiety and depression. Like every day was a struggle. Some days I couldn't get out of bed. It was really bad. Thankfully, I had my husband to help kind of get me through that. And thankfully, I did end up getting a new job, which made a big world of difference for me. So that's kind of like stuff that was happening on the personal side that was making it difficult for me to really even want to make content. It just didn't feel important. I mean, how am I gonna come on here and make YouTube videos when like I don't want to say struggling to get through the day. I'm very lucky in that I wasn't dealing with any like suicidal thoughts or anything like that, but it was a struggle to get through the day because I felt stuck. And that's a really difficult position to be in. And I also didn't feel confident enough that like YouTube and blogging and stuff would get me out of it. Like I never experienced the kind of growth that you would really need to have to do that full time, which is totally fine. Like that was never my intention to do it full time, but also I couldn't really stay motivated to keep doing that stuff when there was no end goal in sight for me. But then also I think it was in 2018, all of a sudden I started to have the worst acne I've ever had in my life. Like I've always had acne prone skin and it's never bothered me too much, but this was just horrible. And I'm sure it was related to a lot of things, both a change in environment, my mental health not being in a good place and me being stressed all the time. I was stress eating. So, just like tons of sugar and carbs and stuff and all that stuff that's not, that you're typically going to see on your skin. I don't want to say it's like bad for you because I don't really believe that, but that's a whole nother topic. So I was experiencing that, and I've never been like really big on like covering all my acne all the time in pictures. I just don't care that much. But at the same time, it made it really difficult for me to be motivated to photograph myself, especially beauty photos, because when I would look at them, all that I would see was that acne, and it was just really disheartening. And if you've ever had skin issues like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you might not be able to relate, but it can be really awful to deal with. Thankfully, I am past that now. I still have occasional breakouts, but I'm so thankful that I'm not in that place anymore, and I'll probably do some more content about that in the future, but I'm going to try to keep this as focused as I can. So yeah, that was another reason that I just was not motivated at all to create content. And also, I kind of mentioned that I met other bloggers here, but when I was in Dallas, I was really connected with bloggers and I was watching them work, and we would go to events together, and all of that kind of stuff really motivates you to keep going. And I moved here and suddenly that just completely disappeared. And I didn't really think about how that was going to affect me as a creator, but it really had a huge effect on me. It just zapped me of all motivation, which is a total bummer. Also, at that time, in addition to blogging and having a full-time job, I was also running my own shop called Fiercely, which I don't have anymore, but that was something that took up a lot of my time, and it was something that I was really passionate about. So really blogging and stuff kind of took a backseat to that, because obviously there was so much happening that there was no way I was going to be able to do all of those things at once. So all of that to say, why am I back now? I don't really know. Maybe that's a bad way to say this in this video, but it just feels right. Like I've always been a big fan of watching YouTube videos. I think it's so fun. I think it's such a great way to get to know people or feel like you get to know them. And I just miss it. I miss talking about makeup, not just writing. Like I love actually talking about things, and I love being able to show things on camera. I think it's so fun. And I just decided it's time to dive back in. And I don't really know what things are going to look like. And I know that that's not the right way that you're supposed to do these kind of relaunch things or whatever this is called. But I mean, it's the truth. I think that things are going to continue to be beauty focused. But I also am on a low buy journey right now, which I'll talk about that more in the future. So that's kind of something that is probably going to creep in a lot of my content as well. I do a lot of thrifting still. I try to buy almost exclusively secondhand with everything. I also have become a huge plant lover. I went from having 0 houseplants to having, I don't know, 50, something like that. We also are starting a garden, so that's something that's happening in my life. So I don't know what this is going to look like, but if you want to stick around, I would absolutely love to have you. I'd love to grow this community. I'd love to get to know you. So yeah, hopefully you'll stay, but if not, thank you for being a part of my journey thus far. I so appreciate you. You know, those few years from 2013 to 2017, it was such a beautiful, creative, fun time in my life. And I think that's also part of the reason why I want to get back to that. I miss that feeling of just creating all the time and putting out content and getting feedback from people. I miss it a lot, and I'm excited to be back here. So thank you guys so much, and I will be back very soon. Bye.